All right, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow coders, how you doing? I just want to release a fairly short video that talks about something called developer tools, or dev tools for short, that was released by the Spring team. The Spring team is always trying to make our lives easier, and this is just one other addition that they have done in order to do just that. So developer tools, like they said, is a set of tools that make the application development experience a little bit more pleasant. Specifically, what it does is it sets some properties by default. So for example, with time leaf and caching, it turns off caching when you're in the development mode, so you don't have to actually put that in the properties file. That's a very, very quick and easy thing, regardless whether or not it was implemented by developer tools, but hey, I guess it's nice to have. The big bonus is the automatic restart. So it'll automatically restart your application server when it sees any changes that are made that would force it to need to, update. Now, this is sort of in stark contrast to their other tool that they have in order to do reload your thing on the fly. So doing a hot deploy is called Spring Loaded. Spring Loaded is good in that it will automatically hot swap out any changes that you make without having to reboot your server. I've talked about it in past videos. However, the hot swap is not foolproof. It's not something that works every single time out of the box. If you make it, well, I'll get into where Spring Loaded fails and where Spring Dev Tools sort of picks up the slack. Now, having said that, this does restart your server, so there is still time sort of wasted in restarting the server, but at least this is a more consistent experience when you use this. Now, there's some other things that you can read about on this page. Here's, the URL. I don't really know if there's any shortened URL for this, so you can just go ahead and visit it yourself by typing it in, or maybe I'll include it in some notes below or something, who knows. And then what other things that you can do here, you can disable the restart if you don't want to. You can customize the class loader, although that's probably more of an advanced technique. It talks about some limitations with using objects that are deserialized using object input stream. Again, I've never really used that before, so I can't really comment on it, and so on and so forth. So there's some other, neat things that you can do with it. But the main benefit, like I said, is the automatic restart. That's where the majority of people will be, needing to use this or wanting to use this, is for the automatic restart. So now let's go ahead and start a new Spring project. I'll choose the Spring Starter project, which uses Spring Boot. I'm going to call it Dev Tools Example in the Dev Tool Example, or Dev Tools Example package. And I'll say Next. And what I'll do is I'll include Dev Tools. You can also just search for Dev Tools, and it's part of the core package of things, if you will. And then I'm going to use Time Leaf. I'm going to use Web. And do I need to use JP? No, I won't hook up a database. But it'll be a web project using Time Leaf and the DevTools plugin. I'll click on Finish. For you, this will probably take a while to download all the resources that it needs to download. For me, this shouldn't take very long at all. Like you see there, it is already done, because I've already done it once before. Once you've done it once, then it's quick. If you haven't done it before for downloading all these resources, it might take 5 or 10 minutes. So we've got our project set up. So let's do a little bit of showing off what DevTools can do. So let's go ahead and we'll create a class. We'll create a controller class, like a test controller. And I'll just create a standard controller with a request mapping that, just looks at the root level for a URL. Request method will be a get request. And we'll just call this the, root. Okay. And this will return, index, an index view, let's say. I'll do Control-Shift-O to import all of my stuff and wait for it to organize the imports as my computer chugs along. There we go. And then I will include in a resources, in a template, I will create a new template. So just a new HTML file called index, because it needs to match the name of the view here. So index.html. And we'll just create a standard, nothing fancy HTML file here, maybe with a title that says, Dev Tools Example. And we'll have some body code that says, in a heading, this, or welcome to Dev Tools or something. Okay, fair enough. So what we'll do is we'll start up the server. So as of yet, we have not made use of Dev Tools at all. Like I said, Dev Tools will reboot the server if it detects that a reboot needs to happen in order for you to deploy the changes and be able to see your changes and so on and so forth. So let me go into localhost. So that should say, welcome to DevTools, right? We just created a small little web app that what it does is it, looks at the root localhost 8080, and if it detects you get a GET request on localhost 8080, it'll just return the index.html. Now, let's add something to the model. Well, first let's add a model. Model, map, model. Now, as soon as I click on save here, well, let me do the import, and as soon as I click on save, it will need to restart the server. Okay, and this is where Spring Loaded would fail. Spring Loaded does not do well when you change the method signature. This is called the method signature. It doesn't, work well when you make changes to a what's this called, annotation, or if you make any changes to anything with respect to the method. Spring Loaded works well when you make changes inside. It does a hot swap, and everything should work fine. But like I said, I didn't make a change inside the scope of a method. I changed the actual method signature. Okay, so this is where Spring Loaded will fail, but Spring DevTools will pick up the slack. So now let me save this file. I'll click on save, and what you'll notice is I haven't touched anything, but down here, boom, it just restarted my server. Okay, I didn't touch anything else. I didn't click on restart the server. I didn't do anything like that. It restarted the server on its own because it noticed that there was a change. So that's great. Now you can say model.put, and we can put, some sort of a message on the model saying like, this is a test message. And again, I'm just going to save it, and then I'm going to go to the index file. You'll notice it reboots the server down there. There you go. And in the server file, or in the HTML file, let me include the XML namespace for timeleaf. http://timeleaf.org, and I will say, a paragraph tag with a th text saying, to output the message. So you notice I didn't actually restart the server at all. So I'm just going to go right back into my thing and refresh this page, and there you go. This is a test message shows up. Now, if I didn't have DevTools initialized and working, it would not have rebooted the server, and then this message would not have appeared, because we would need to reboot the server because we made changes to our Java file. Okay, so that's all this does. It just detects changes to the Java file, and it will reboot the server when necessary. So even if I were to take this and extract it into a method for some strange reason, like if I said, let me see, refactor extract method, and I just called this the, populate model method and said, okay, it'll create a brand new method, saves the file, boom, reboots the server. Okay, so now we can go back, refresh, everything is working just as we expect it to work. So that's just a handy little thing that DevTools can do for you. And all you need to do to add DevTools, if you have an existing project that you'd like to use, I should say an existing Spring Boot project that you'd like to use with DevTools, all you need to do is bring in this dependency in your POM file. So just bring in Spring Boot DevTools from org Spring Framework Boot, and apparently they set the scope to be runtime because that's really all you need it to be scoped as, is during the runtime is when you're going to be needing, or DevTools needs to actually be able to do its job, right? It's during runtime. We don't care about compile time with DevTools because, at compile time, the server's not started, right? So there you go. That's all you need to do to add in DevTools, so long as you're using Spring Boot. I'm using version 1.5.6. I forget, does it tell you when DevTools was introduced, what version? I don't think I remember seeing that. In any case, if you're not seeing DevTools working, perhaps you need to make sure you are using at least Spring Boot version 1.5.6. All right, sweet. So if you like this video and you like videos that I typically post, you might be interested in knowing that there's a 30-day free trial that I have that gives you access to my 2 best Java courses. So you can go to, coderscampus.com/free trial, and you can activate your free trial to get, like I said, 30 days of free access to my best Java courses. Let me know what your, current programming skill level is. You need to use your email as your username, so, like trevor@craftycoder.com, and then you can activate your free trial. I just need a credit card or PayPal because after the 30 days, it's just $10 a month. So it's like Netflix for coding, so it is $10 a month. You can cancel it anytime, though. You don't have to get to the point where you have to renew it. If you want to cancel before the renewal period happens, you can absolutely do that. You just need to activate your trial. Like I said, type in your name, information, and punch in your information in terms of your credit card, or if you like, you can do PayPal to check out as well, which is usually pretty much a little bit faster when you use PayPal to check out. Then you're getting access to my 2 best Java courses, which is the Learn Core Java and Learn Enterprise Java courses. It's over 50 hours of programming tutorials. Like I said, if you like my videos, you're going to like these videos as well. You're going to teach yourself full stack Java application, web application programming from scratch from yours truly. So check it out. Nothing to lose. 30 days free. You can cancel anytime. And hey, then it's just $10 a month. It's very, very affordable. So looking forward to seeing you on the inside. Again, it's called, or the link is, coderscampus.com/free trial, all in words. coderscampus.com/free trial, all one word. Check it out for yourself. Hope to see you there. Take care. Bye for now.